Now that you know who your ideal target market is and where you might find them, now it's time to you've got to create a prospect. Now, before we go into this, I just want to give you a quick little equation about marketing, because marketing is very formulaic. And when it's formulaic, that's good news, because that means that you can do it consistently. Now, it's a little formula that goes a bit like this. It's number of leads times conversion rate equals number of clients. And then clients times average dollar sale times number of return purchases equals your revenue. And then multiply the revenue by your gross margin equals your gross profit, or net profit if you like. And if you were to improve each of those 5 key input areas in terms of leads, conversion, average dollar sale, number of repeat business, and margin, even by 10%, which is not a lot, and if you're even just watching these videos you're going to do that, by 10% you would get a 61% improvement in your net profit. Now that's quite exciting. So as we go through this here, think about how can I improve each of these areas by 10%. But let's look at leads and how we can get more leads or prospects. So I talked before about some ways that you can where you can go finding people. But ultimately what we want is for those people to put up their hand and come to us. If not at the moment, they're just suspects, okay? They're a suspect at the moment, not an actual prospect. Now, there's a number of ways that we can do it. So I've got a bit of paper. I'm just going to read off these here because there's a whole lot of different approaches that you can take. And some of these are going to be suitable. You might already be doing them. But I know too many businesses that I go and see, they say their number one source of business is referrals or word of mouth, and repeat business, obviously. So, I mean, that's great, but really that's only 2 lines in the water. And if you're fishing and you're over the best fishing spot, why would you only put 2 lines in the water? You'd be wanting to put in 30. And so that's what I encourage you to do. And because that diversity of lead generation gives you security, because you have no control over who's going to be referring you business. So think about this as we go through about how many, some people, look for the gangbuster way to get, 31 lead source to bring them 30 different leads. And that might happen, but I tell you what, there's a whole lot of, you could have 30 ways that can bring you 1 lead, and that's a whole lot more secure. So think about how many more lines you can get in the water. Grab your pen now and write down some of these lead generation sources. This is not a definitive list by any means, but it will just start to get you thinking about new ways that you can be attracting people to you. And again, think about direct response more than some of the other bigger, more expensive means. So here we go. Obviously existing clients, but you need to go back and ask them to come back. But if they don't come back, it's not their fault. It's up to you to ask them to come back and give them a decent reason to come back. Okay, so past clients who have stopped using you. Man, so many people just let these people die. But they are not. Go back to those old leads and those old clients and reignite them again. Then also you've got prospects who might have been thinking about doing business with you but haven't. Again, there's a lot of money in these leads. Some people can take a year, 2 years until they buy. So you should be keeping at these prospects for a long time to come to convert them. Also, we talked about your ideal client. Write down a wish list. It might be your top 10, top 50, top 100. Write them down, because again, when you focus on them, then you've got a much better chance of attracting them. Also, having a proper referral system rather than just one that you might is ad hoc. Have some incentive in there for people to refer you. We're going to talk about that a bit more later. Obviously, there's the whole website side of things. Having a website is a great way, but make sure you're getting people's details. So many people have a website brochure that's generally a bit boring, and also there's nowhere that people can, no reason for people to give their details. And this is the key thing you want to be doing with lead generation, is you want to be capturing people's details so that you can then continue to market to them. So many people think that sales and marketing is a one-step deal. Someone walks in, wants to buy, but more often than not, it's about marketing to them over time to convert them to come and do business with you. So with your website, that is key. And obviously there's Google AdWords and free search engine traffic and a whole lot of other things you can do. We're not going to dive into that just at the moment. Networking, get out there, talk to people. And you're probably doing that already, but do it in a disciplined way. Okay? So if you are going to do newspaper advertising, which can be a proper thing, a decent thing to do, or magazine advertising, make sure it's direct response. And you're getting people to come to you. Have a headline, good headline in there, rather than just doing, hey, here's who we are, we're XYZ company and we're good. Come to us at some stage if you're ready. That's a waste of money. Don't go there. There could be some industry association or newsletters that you could hook into, and a lot more targeted there. So again, direct response. Now, here's a really quick way to get business and credibility, and that is through joint ventures. It might be also called strategic alliances or affiliates. But when you do this, you're marketing to people, often endorsed, and endorsed is the best way to go. If it's endorsed, then you've got instant credibility from that person, and it can make a 3 to 4 times increase in your response. So joint ventures are a great way to quickly market to 100, 500, 1,000 people that are your ideal target market. And if you're going to do that sort of thing, make sure again it's direct response, and you're getting them to reply to you for some information is a great idea. I might touch on that a bit later. But you're not asking for the sale straight off the bat, you're asking for them to engage with you, and then you've got those people as prospects. Also speaking, some of you, speaking at conferences might be a great approach there. You could buy a targeted list. Now this is sometimes a bit hit and miss because you're starting absolutely stone cold, so don't expect to be getting big responses off this. This might take some time to nurture. Another great way is to be writing reports or articles that you can get out there into online mediums or even in magazines or newspapers. Doing that just builds your credibility and authority status, and therefore can lead to good leads and good prospects. Write a book on that as well. That's a bit more of a courageous project to take on. There's obviously specific directories, be it in Yellow Pages is one. It's a blessing and a curse for some people. For others, it's a principal way that they get their business. But again, be different in doing that. Trade shows can be a great way. Think about what industry trade shows you've got. Now, you might be going to those currently, but not really maximising the value. And there's a whole lot of things that if you do really want to get engaged with Conway Petrie, we can tell you about how you can make those sort of events incredibly profitable. Sometimes, things like a PO box drop, I know for us that's worked really well, but it needs to have a great offer and stand out. So that's another way to go. There's obviously things like radio and TV and branding and telemarketing and PR. I mean, we haven't got time to go into all of those things, but the key idea I want you to get here is not to just rely on repeat business and referrals. The more you can be doing to generate leads, the absolute better, the more stability you've got. And that leads on to the next thing I'm going to talk about on the next video about how much you're prepared to pay to get a customer.